Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary with the Get Some Podcast. And my guest this week is...
This motherfucker Gary.
Hey, what's up? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some Podcast. Sorry, we were off last week. I was driving cross country in a Uhaul. Got my stuff from California, moved it to my new place. Divorce is they take time, but I was able to get most of my stuff out of California. So that's why we weren't around last week. Let me just start off with my schedule. Like I always do, shouts out to everyone in Portland last week. I was a little worried because tickets was a little slow, but man, they picked up as the week went on. And this week I'm in Austin, Texas at the Cap City Comedy Club. And then next week I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Helium Comedy Club. And then July 22nd, I'm in Las Vegas at the Pearl Theater inside the Palms. What's interesting about Portland, and the fact that I was in Portland last week and now I'm in Austin this week, is they're very similar cities. They're both can be beautiful. A lot of people move there. Like I know a lot of people from California seem to be migrating to Austin. It's become like the Tesla half Silicon Valley of, I don't know, what is Texas, the Southwest? But here's the problem with both cities. Portland, let me tell you, you can't get, at this time of year, it's hard to get better weather than Portland, Oregon. Because being in Texas so much now, man, it's so ungodly hot down here. Oh, my God. It is straight balls stuck to the side of your leg hot, and they don't come off. So, you just walk outside. You really don't have to sit in a sauna. You can just sit outside, and you'll bake. There's heat warnings. Because a lot of times I go to the gym, I like to put a hoodie on. And the problem I got with hotel gyms, they keep it so cold. The gyms out here, at least the one I work out at, that mug stays at 90 in the summer. I love it because you're sweating, but you can't wear a hoodie in there. You got to put on a T-shirt. It's I don't know how the homeless do it down here in the summer. But Portland, man, this time of year, I don't go to Portland in the winter. But this time of year, June, July, even somewhat August, June, July, I mean, it's just like in the 70s. There's no humidity. It's sunny. It's just perfect weather. Like I woke up every day like, oh, my God. The only thing my hotel room didn't have was a balcony. I would have sat on it all weekend. But the only and you got Nike there. And the only problem with Portland and Austin is the homeless. They completely take over. And, I mean, it's people watching at its finest. I think every major city is going to have homeless. We all know that. It's in another level with Portland and Austin. And they're so similar because Portland got Voodoo Donuts. Now Austin's got Voodoo Donuts. You got Nike. And the headquarters are in Portland. Now it looks like Tesla's moving there. So you got these big billion-dollar corporations. And they're picking these cities that is the hub. They're very progressive. But why is it? It's not just homeless, it's tents. And homeless people love dogs in Portland and Austin. They love their dogs. Talk about getting the short end of the effing stick. Can you imagine being a dog? If I see a dog and it's with the Kardashians or it's with the Obamas, the White House dogs, and things like that, I'm like, God, talk about hitting the lotto. And then you see the homeless dogs. And I'm going, what is the deal with maybe if they got rid of their dogs and their pets, they could save up a little money and get an apartment. It's a novel concept. It's not the fact they're homeless. They're like, there's a bunch of them, and there's homeless and there's crazy homeless. And Austin and Portland have the crazies. I saw so much nudity in Portland last week that I didn't want to see. I saw ass cracks. I saw nipples. I saw urination. I just was like, oh, my God. I mean, I know, obviously, the huge cities, New York, San Francisco, L.A., yeah, you're going to have that. But it seems like it's very they don't take over. And maybe that's because of the size of the city. But Portland, Austin, man, it's just downtown. It's so bad in Austin that I've always stayed downtown Austin. I'm in the suburbs this week. I said, I'm going to get a hotel outside because I just don't want to deal with it. In Portland, I stayed downtown. My hotel was freaking beautiful. And you just want to go walk. But then you're like, God, you really see a lot. And I saw one guy. It looked like he just got released from the hospital. He still looked like he had the IV in his arm. And he's like, he took it out and just kept the tape on there. And I was just like, oh. And you think sometimes, you don't have it that great. But then you realize, oh, this is struggling at another level. But I just wonder why it's such a takeover in the tents. And they're everywhere. Oh, it's just to be such a beautiful city, because especially Portland, you got the trees and there's always a snow-capped mountain you can look at, and there's a river, and it's just a gorgeous city. And you take one, not even a wrong turn, just stand there. They'll walk by you. And Austin's very similar, very similar. They just, anywhere where homeless people have a lot of tents, yeah. To cost so much to live somewhere, it's just like, wow, why is the cost of living so much if you got to deal with this? It should really depreciate the cost of living. Last time I was in San Diego was bad. I wasn't expecting that. I won't stay downtown San Diego anymore because of that. I'll just stay outside the city because I just don't want to deal with it. But actually, that's what I went through this week. It's just something I noticed, and I'm not sure why it's like that and what. Just a lot of tents, and it's a lot of. I just think for the cost of living, I don't want to see that every day. I just want to go get some coffee and sit in the park and not have to look at somebody's ass crack or taking a piss. Maybe that's me. Am I asking too much? I don't know. But here's a funny thing that happened. So anytime I go to Portland, and I didn't realize I ain't been to Portland in so long. The one thing you do, you call your friends and your colleagues, and you're like, yo, can you get me in the Nike store, the Nike employee store? Because it's 40% off. So I had a friend. She got me in. Me and my opener, Rob, we went shopping. And I'm telling him, man, he'd never been to the one in Portland. He'd been to one in Memphis. And I'm telling him, man, yeah, it's like 40% off, and they ship. So get whatever you want. You ain't got to worry about packing it. So I get everything I'm going to get. And I go to ship. And the lady goes, the girl at the register goes, oh, we don't ship anymore. I said, oh, you don't? I said, last time I was here, you ship. She goes, yeah, only for athletes and celebrities. And I just had to look at her like, okay. It was that like moment in my head like, do I tell her I'm a celebrity or am I a celeb? And then I just said, it was so slow. I went, I'm a celebrity, and I can't believe I just said that out loud. Because I've never, ever in my life been that, hey, you don't know who I am type of dude. I'll just take the L and keep it moving. But Rob came over, and I looked at Rob. He was like two people behind me in line. I said, they don't ship. And then Rob goes, huh? So Rob's wanted to take control. So he was like, let me talk to the manager. So the manager comes over. Oh, my God. It's funny. I named my last comedy special Black Famous because of that reason. Like, if black people, 90% of them know me, they hook you up. The white young register girl brought over a whiter manager, and I was like, he looked like he just eats granola bar and hikes all day. He looked at me and didn't even ask. He looked at me and went, no. Kept it moving. I just was like, and Rob goes, I'm gonna ask somebody else. I go, no, I'm good, dude. I'll just ship it. I'll ask the club or. So anyways, a friend of mine shipped all my stuff. But yeah, I didn't. And it was funny. A friend of mine hooked me up with one of the guys at Brand Jordan. And this guy came to my show. And the good thing about when you're in Portland, anybody that works for Nike or Brand Jordan or Adidas, if they come to your show and you leave them tickets, normally they're bearing gifts. And this guy didn't disappoint. Shouts out to Cliff King. Cliff King came through, brought a pair of Jordans. brought me a Nike bag. I left him with a couple tickets for him and his friends. And then here's the kicker, though. You know I'm diehard Bengals, right? This guy, Cliff, gives me a brand new pair of Jordans. Beautiful. Black and yellow. Straight Steeler colors. I was like, what is this? And then he told me he went to Iowa. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what you did there with the Iowa colors. But I'm a diehard Bengals fan. It's going to be hard for me to wear these. I'll figure something out because there's some nice Jordans. But, yeah. And then we went to eat. Let me give this place a shout out. Let me see if I can find it. B-Sauce? Yeah. Had a great brunch at B-Sauce in Portland. So if you're in the Portland area and on the weekend you want to go to a bomb brunch spot, man, I got the steak and eggs. Ooh wee, really good. So anyways, that's enough about Portland. Yeah, it was a good time. It's just the dang homeless, man. And don't wait in line for donuts. I mean, I love donuts, but Voodoo Donuts, come on. People go there and they wait in line for like 2 hours. I'm like, in the end, it's donuts. I talked about it on stage. I go, it tastes like a donut. So they're good, but they're not worth waiting in line for 2 hours good. And Nike, why'd you stop shipping? That was part of the deal. You got people come from town, they buy all these shoes. You don't ship anymore? I mean, you can still charge people. I'll just put it like this. If any place you need a FedEx or UPS or USPS right next door to somewhere, it's there. You got all these people come from out of town, and they want their stuff shipped. So, yeah, I'm just trying to help you guys out. That's all. I want everybody to have some business coming in. So this week, I wasn't here last week, but the big news last week was the submarine that completely imploded. Killed a bunch of not a bunch, but a few millionaire billionaires. And it was funny because I was meeting with some investment people, and I got a Zoom call with them, and they asked me why did I want in the next 10 years for my future and how to invest my money and make it work for me and things like that. And I'm talking to them, and I said, I want to be rich, but I don't want to be getting a submarine to see the Titanic rich. I don't want to be that rich. I want to be content with everything I see on the earth. I ain't trying to leave. I ain't trying to go to space, and I ain't trying to go in the ocean like that. Just give me a camera. I'll sit on the boat, and I'll be like, oh, there's the Titanic. Okay. I don't need to be it. I don't need to see with my own two eyes. And then it was funny because we're having that conversation, and then it's funny. Your phone has to know what you're talking about. It has to hear everything you say. Because I get off the phone with my financial people, and it was a joke, obviously, about that. Like, I don't want to be that rich. And what pops up on my IG or Facebook or something immediately, TikTok, it was Pharrell helped design $1 million Louis Vuitton bag. I don't care how nice the bag is. I don't care how much money I make. I will never spend that much money on a bag. Who's buying that bag? And what's in that bag? That bag better come with some pussy. A lot of it, like every day. That's what I'm talking about. That's the only bag I'm going worth $1 million. Yeah, so saw that. And then, okay, 2-3 weeks ago? We was talking about Marlon Wayans and the United Airlines thing. And then about a week and a half ago, Daniel Cormier, a UFC fighter, he has an issue with American Airlines. But he doesn't tell people to boycott them. He's just telling American they got to do better. You need better employees, more empathy towards the passengers. And he got somebody rude, but he didn't ask them to boycott. And I said, see, there you go. To me, that's the logical way of dealing with stuff. And kind of taking your personal emotions out of it is, yeah, I'm calling you out. This wasn't good business, but he understands, like, it's not the entire corporation. It's not the business model, so to speak. So I just thought, when I saw it, I was like, okay, Daniel Cormier, and he said, like, I have never gotten this treatment for any other airlines. I fly all of them. And he basically said, I don't fly American a lot because it seems to happen. And like I said, the big two is Delta and United. And then American's third, and they're a distant third. But I think for me, yeah, it's Delta, United, and then American. What was interesting last week too was as I was driving cross country, it's funny. I'm in a U-Haul and I'm with my buddy Brad, and when I was talking and I was like, there's only a few people you can sit in a U-Haul and go cross country with. And because, if you guys, I could never do it with my ex-wife, I don't think. Even when we were married in a good place. I just don't think there's a lot of good friends of mine. I couldn't do it. I couldn't drive country with. There's only a select few, and it could be my personality. It ain't just them. It's not like something's wrong with you. It's just some people's personalities weigh on you, or you don't want to get in little petty arguments that turn into something bigger. And I think that could happen, especially in a U-Haul. It's not like luxurious. But here's the thing. When I'm driving across country with Brad, we've done this before. We drove from Ohio to California when I moved a lot of stuff out there like 5 years ago. And then this time I was moving my stuff from California to Texas. And it's a little shorter drive, but the whole time we're driving, I'm sitting here, we're hearing this noise when we turn the air on full blast. And I'm going, what is that noise? Now, if you don't turn on full blast, we didn't hear it. Then we turn on full blast, we hear it. And I was like, what is that noise? At the very end of the trip, it's the last day, we stopped to get gas, and Brad's always wanted to try to figure out what's wrong. He digs in the AC by the driver's side, pulls out an open condom packet. Not the condom. That would be disgusting. I would have dry heaved and threw up, and I asked for all my money back. It was just the wrapper. Not the wrapper you put on your dick. It's just the plastic thing that the condom's in. And it was like a Durex. And I was like, who's banging in a U-Haul? And I was like, well, it's too late now to be disgusted because we've been in it for 2 days. And I'm pretty sure it's been in there for a long time, and that thing's been sanitized. But when I go to turn in the U-Haul, another classic case of quote-unquote black famous. So Nike won't ship my stuff. White girl, white guy, they're not helping me. We go to U-Haul. I get there, U-Haul's not really open. Couple brothers were in U-Haul. They saw me out there looking. The door's closed, it's locked. I was like, dang, I got to come back in the morning. Dude walks out, goes, hey, what's up, man? And the one guy's like, ain't you Gary? And I was like, yeah. Dap him up. The other dude comes out. He goes, hey, man, I'll check you out real quick. So it's completely off hours. After hours close, brother checked me out. It was all good. I get a picture with him. And I was like, see? And then I asked him, I said, hey, man. He goes, everything okay with the vehicle? I said, well, we got one small thing. We did find a open condom wrapper. And he said, what? I said, not the condom, just the wrapper. And it was a Durex. What even good one? And he was like, you'd be amazed. I said, I can't imagine. I would love, somebody should literally start a podcast and just about what you see working at a U-Haul every week after you quit. I would love to hear some of those stories. I might have to have a U-Haul worker on. I can't imagine the stuff they see or the stuff people leave behind in the U-Hauls. So it's driving across country's so interesting because I figure at this point they would figure out a way to make the U-Hauls a little more comfortable. Because, man, I mean, when I say sit up straight, there's no leaning back. You're just straight up in the air. I was like, it's like being in those exit rows when you get a flight and they say the seat does not recline. You're just up. I was like, all right, I guess it's hard to fall asleep and things like that. So anyways, yeah, we got everything back safe. Everything was cool. And then the good thing about the last 2 weeks since I've been here, has there been a better team in baseball than Cincinnati Reds, baby? I don't think so. They so hot. I mean, I didn't realize how good the Atlanta Braves was. Atlanta Braves won like 19 of the last 20. But other than that, the Reds played 2 out of 3. Every game by the Braves and Reds have been one-run games all season. Now, granted, the Braves have won more, but it's all one-run games. And ever since they called up that De La Cruz from AAA, the Reds, I don't know, he's a shot of adrenaline in that team, and they taken off. And the more games they win, the more people ESPN fire. I'm like, what is going on at ESPN? They're firing everybody. It was like I never seen nothing like it. It's like a fire. It's like everyone had to come in, and I'm wondering why. Why all the budget cuts? And it's got to be. It's one of the few networks that everybody still watches religiously. So I don't know what's going on at ESPN. Still going to watch a lot. My personal favorite sports talk show is The Herd with Colin Cowherd, and that's on Fox Sports 1. But I don't know what's going on. And then let's keep it in the sports realm. Of course, Michael Rubin had his annual Hampton, New York, all-white party. And who do I see there? Nothing but Joey Burrow, flossing. I didn't like it though. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't like seeing him there. I like the fact that you don't ever see sightings of Joe Burrow going out in those type of party settings. He might show up at a UFC fight. He might show up at a baseball game, basketball game, but you don't really see him going out. So when I saw him there, I was like, oh, no. So Michael Rubin, if anything happens to Joe Burrow and his play falls off, I'm blaming you. I am blaming you for infiltrating and taking my quarterback down a dark road. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, it's on you, Michael Rubin. Don't invite him no more. This is a public service announcement to anyone out there. Don't invite Joe Burrow to anything ever till he's retired. Or if we win a Super Bowl, he can hang out the first month. That's it. I want him at his house, in his books, a game film, weight room, nutritionist. I kept looking like, does he have a drink in his hand? I saw one picture. He had a glass of something. I don't know. It was clear. I'm going to tell myself it's water. I hope it wasn't vodka or tequila. So I just didn't like it. I saw Tom Brady there, but Tom Brady's retired. I don't think Tom Brady was ever there when he was playing. I could be wrong. But, yeah, I didn't like it. I don't care about wide receivers, running backs, defensive guys, but not my quarterback. Come on, I did not like. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. There's too much drinking and stuff going on. I'm glad he's in that circle, but it's weird. I saw him talking to. He took a picture with OBJ. Took a picture with Devontae Adams, and I love our wide receivers, but you can never have enough good wide receivers. And I was like, knowing Joe. He's getting intel, and they don't even know it. I think he's like Yoda, man. That's what I'm banking on. But if his play falls off, just know, Michael Rubin, I blame it all on you. So hopefully I won't have to relive this again. But I got a little excited when he was talking to some of the players on the other teams. But it would seem like it was all wide receivers. I didn't see him talking to nobody else. I was like, okay, we're good there. Maybe could you talk to a safety? Or a guard? I don't even know if the offensive lineman was invited. But I was like, I don't know about that. So I hope I don't have to worry about that no more. But I don't like seeing him. Because even I have, like, the last couple of years, me and Joe Mixon have partnered, and we've had a big dual birthday party 2 days before training camp starts in Cincinnati. And we're doing it again this year on July 23rd. Shameless plug. And every year they'll be like, hey, they think Burrow's going to come. I said, no. Don't invite him. I want him at the house. And it's funny. They always say, yeah, they going to ask him, he going to come. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good if he stays home. I just want him. I want him at the crib. I don't want him to go out at all. So, yeah, that's it. And that's the only position. Quarterback. I don't care about no other position, but it's a quarterback. I want him to be almost a nerd. So it's funny. 2 weeks ago, I completely shit the bed and forgot to do a movie review. And I had it all planned out and just forgot. And I saw this movie, and it's called X. And I just watched it in the middle of the night one night. And it's funny. I'll read what it's about, all right? In 1979, a group of young filmmakers set out to make an adult film in rural Texas. But when their reclusive elderly hosts catch them in the act, the cast find themselves fighting for their lives. So basically what this movie's about, it's 1979. This group of people, I think it was like 6 people in a van, very Texas Chainsaw Massacre-like. They find this house in the middle of nowhere, and the house has a guest house. and they go to the guest house to do a porno, like a bunch of pornos. It's kind of like, this movie reminds me of like Boogie Nights meets Texas Chainsaw Massacre is what it really is like. Let me give you some other cast members. Mia Goth. If you don't know her, she looked familiar when I saw her, and I said, what else she been in? And she's been in, where's it at? Well, she was married to Shia LaBeouf, and that's how I really knew who she was. But I don't want to disregard her own career. She was in Everest, The Survivalist, Magpie, Emma, Mayday. I mean, nothing really huge, so to speak. But she's one of the people you've seen her face, and you're like, okay, I recognize her for something. Jenna Ortega, Brittany Snow, Martin Henderson, Owen Campbell, Stephen Ure. But it's okay. So basically, the movie is about these group of people. They go to this, this field with a house and then a guest house, and there's a lake that there happens to be an alligator in the lake. Wink, wink. That's going to come into play at some point. You don't just have an alligator in a lake in a horror movie and something don't happen with that alligator. I'm just saying. So they go there to shoot this porno. And it's funny. The whole time I'm watching this movie, let me tell you, it starts off really strong. And then it just got kind of, I don't want to say goofy, but it just got kind of all over the place in the middle, and then it kind of comes back together at the end. But there's one black guy in it, and I kept looking at the black and like, why do I know him? And of course, he's the porno guy slanging dick. There's a scene where he's standing in a doorway, and you see like a silhouette because it's at night, and they make it so he has one of the Marky Mark's penis implants, and it's just like you see the shadow of a schlong just kind of slanging left to right, almost like one of them clocks. It's going back and forth. And I'm assuming it was prosthetic, or maybe this guy was just slanging dick like that. But the whole time I'm looking at the movie and go, why do I know this guy? Why do I know this guy? Because, of course, I would know an actor, an A-list or big-name black actor, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And then at the end of the movie, I saw it, and I go, oh, my God, how did I not see that? It was Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi's the black guy. And I'm going, you know who Kid Cudi is? Joe Burrow's favorite artist. I'm sorry. I always got to bring it to Cincinnati. But that's Joe Burrow's favorite rapper. So I'm sitting here, and the movie is so interesting because there's one scene that got me. So there's the director. He's a crazy director. And he's like, no, we're going to shoot this adult movie. It's going to be great. So he brings in the black guy, who's the lead porn guy, and then he brings in a porn girl, and they're the two they're just free spirits. They don't take it personal. They'll sleep with anybody. It's not a big deal. There's no emotions involved. I'll put it that way when it comes to having sex. And then you had it's funny, you had a grip. You had the sound guy, camera guy, and then there was a girl that was helping out with the camera guy. And she was like holding the boom mic and stuff like that. And it was her boyfriend. And all of a sudden, I'm not going to give away the whole movie, but there's a lot of back and forth. You're my girlfriend. Relationship stuff comes involved. And then the girl just goes, I think I want to shoot a scene. And the director is like, yeah, you sure? And she's like, I do. And the boyfriend's like, no, are you crazy? And then, of course, the black guy, Kid Cudi, he's like, I'm down with it. And so they end up shooting the scene. And you see how it just takes the camera guy over the deep end. Because he's like, dude, I brought you to help. I brought you to just to work. And now you're shooting a scene. That has to be a nightmare. As a young guy, and you bring your girlfriend around, and you're just like, oh, my God. Now you're watching her, filming her bang another dude. that's got a bigger schlong than you. Oh, my God. I can't think of anything worse. And it's funny, too, because I was thinking, I saw that movie, and it's a horror movie, and you got to see the house is owned by two old people. They're so weird and weird looking. And here's the crazy part. The girl, and I didn't find this out until I got done watching the movie, Mia Goth, if you go to IMDb, she plays two people. She plays the lead girl in it, and then she plays the old lady in the house. She's playing two characters. And I kept thinking, what kind of sci-fi mindfuck is this going to end up being at the end? It really wasn't. She just played two different characters. And she was just like the director's girlfriend, basically. She wasn't there to be in the scenes and everything. But yeah, it wasn't terrible. It was pretty good. But I'm trying to think. Hold on, let me see where I saw it. Was it Netflix? X movie, and it just came out because I was like, how did I miss this? Wikipedia, X film. Where can I watch it? Let me see where I can watch it at. Was it Netflix? Is X movie distributing? HBO Max. No, is it on HBO Max? Yeah. Yeah, it must have been on Max, HBO Max. Yeah, that's where I saw it. Yeah, I was just skimming. You know, comedians, we in our hotel rooms, man. We just find the most random movies. So it only made, let me see. Let's go to box office mode. Let's see how it did at the box office and why I never heard of it. X. So domestic, it made 11,700,000. International made 2.9. So worldwide, it made 14,740,000. Didn't really give the budget. Didn't really give it. Came out March of 2022. I never heard of this movie, ever. But it wasn't bad. Got a little all over the place in the middle, but then it kind of came back together. But just remember, when you see it, remember the alligator. They're not just going to – here's the thing about once you see a lake and people swimming in it and they keep showing this alligator over and over again in the movie, but the alligator's not doing anything. It's just around hiding in the water. You know somebody's going to die by the alligator. You know it. There's no way you're going to have that alligator and keep showing it and nobody gets killed by the alligator. I'm not going to tell you who, but somebody gets killed by the alligator. I'm like, you see it coming. And the music that comes with the alligator, it's just like, okay, alligator's definitely killing somebody in the movie. So like I said, it reminds me of a mix of Boogie Nights, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and, I don't know, Jaws. Wait, there was an alligator movie. Something like that. So anyways, yeah, wasn't bad. It's called X. So if you get a chance, check it out on Max. Wasn't bad. It's worth seeing if you ain't doing nothing else. Or if you're on a flight, download it. It's not bad. But last week, or 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry. It's funny, I was, I brought up what my dad did in my divorce. And I don't want this podcast to be about that. But it's funny when people message you or make comments when you make a post about that, and some people will say, I can't believe your dad did that. And other people will say, hey man, I just go to your podcast just to I ain't here to hear about your family drama. I was like, well, that's why you watch people's podcasts, is to get insight into their world. That's what I do on their side of things. And one thing I struggle with this. I want to know if other people do. Whenever you have an issue with friends or family members or people that did you wrong, I go, why does everyone always say, you got to forgive them? If you forgive them, you free yourself. They'll say things like that. And I've never found that to be the case. I've never found that to be the case where you just go, you know what? You did me wrong. I forgive you. I feel better. I don't. I ain't going to lie to you. It never works out like that for me. Because it seems like the people that do you wrong in your life, when you have to forgive them, it seems like they keep fucking up your life or they keep continuing the behavior. It's when those people come to you and apologize themselves. Because the issue I have with, I think, a lot of family members in my family that I have issues with, and there's a lot. And sometimes I'll be like, is it me? But, well, I just disregarded that. Maybe it is. But the issue I have, like, if I was to ever go to any of them and say, hey, I forgive you, I really think they'd be like, for what? I didn't do anything wrong. You know? I really think that would be the response. That's why it's so hard. And I never found that to be true. I see it all the time. Like I watch a lot of prison documentaries and these murder cases, and somebody murders somebody in the family and then they forgive them. That'd be a tough one. I remember that one doctor in Connecticut went on Oprah and his whole family got killed and they burned the house down. And he was real religious, and Oprah asked him, "You forgive him?" He said, "I just don't know how you can forgive for a level of evil at that nature." And I've never had to deal with anything like that to that extent. But for me to say stuff like, I forgive you because I feel better and it sets me free. I've never found that to be the case. You got to go to somebody. The person that did you wrong has to come to you and say, my bad. I didn't mean that. But I wonder, I'm just asking, I'm anxious to see people's comments and responses to this. And listen, if you're religious, let's keep it at a kind of human level. I understand people are going to come in and be like, well, Jesus says it, so we have to do what he says. You got to forgive people. I get all that. I'm talking about how I feel personally. That doesn't work for me. I could lie to you and be like, yeah, it just doesn't. The person that does you wrong, like, they're the ones that have to come to you and apologize. And it's not easy, especially when you do something wrong to people. It's not easy to go apologize. But I do find, like, I feel better if I do wrong by somebody and then just apologize for it. My bad, sorry, whether it's on them to accept it or not. Yeah, I feel better in that situation. But when somebody does you wrong and you're like, you still got to forgive them, I don't know about that. I don't know. That does never worked for me. And I'm wondering how other people have felt, because I don't think we hear enough about the people that feel the way I do. Like, I can't just forgive you just to forgive you and then I feel better and free. No, I still want to be like, fuck you. You did me wrong, bitch. That's how I feel, So, yeah. So I'll just say to my dad, I can really say that. Fuck you. I don't forgive you. So, yeah. I should end every week with that segment. Fuck off. Now, the people that I've done wrong, yeah, I can go and say I'm sorry to them when they want to speak to me. So, yeah, I just wonder if anybody else has had that, because it seems like it always goes back to the Bible and Jesus when people say stuff like that. But I'm just talking about on a human level. If you're honest with yourself, do you really feel better? Do you really feel like this burden is lifted off you? I mean, there's one thing for people to do you wrong, you just don't mess with them anymore. You feel better about that. I do believe that toxic people in your life, just if they keep remaining toxic, then you got to let them go. But it ain't like I feel better about it. I don't know I don't know who came up with that concept. I wonder if I'm the only one that feels that way. So I'm just curious. I'm curious to anybody else that feels that way. And let's not go to just murder. Seems like people always go to murder and stuff like that. It's just people that did you wrong, friends, family members. I just can't forgive like that. It's not holding grudges. It's just like, nah, you got to come to me and really mean your apology for real. So, all right, I want to recap my schedule again because I didn't give out the dates earlier. I just told you when. So July 6th through the 9th, I'm in Austin, Texas. So starting tonight, I'm in Austin at Cap City Comedy Club. And then July 13th through the 16th, I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Helium Comedy Club. July 22nd, I'm in Las Vegas at the Pearl Theater inside the Palms. I'm taking a couple weeks off. And then August 11th through the 13th, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky at Louisville Comedy Club. And then August 18th through the 20th, I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Comedy Zone. And then, let me find my birthday party real quick. They just sent me the flyer. So me and Joe Mixon on July 23rd. So I got to be in Vegas on the 22nd. So obviously I'm not going out. I'm on a flight at 6 a.m. to get to Cincinnati to go to this birthday party. Because it's a fucking bash. It's all that. Last year's was epic. Hopefully this year matches it. It is. They just sent me the flyer. Where's that bad boy at? Hold on. Let me find it. Where you at, Joe? Just a second. There it is. It is at Hotel Covington. It's actually in Kentucky. You know, Cincinnati's on the border. That's a nice hotel, too. I didn't know. So it's me and Joe Mixon's year 2. It's all black everything. Last year was all white. This year we're doing all black. So if you ain't doing anything on Sunday, July 23rd, come on down to the Hotel Covington right outside of Cincinnati in Kentucky and come hang with me and the Bengals. And I really hope Joe Burrow's not there. He had enough partying for the year with Michael Rubin. So your partying days are done, Joe, until February after we win the Super Bowl. Then we can go hard in Vegas after we win the Super Bowl. Oh, we got a squad this year. All right, y'all. So I'm anxious to see what people think about that. So, yeah. So anyways, this is Gary Owen with the Get Some Podcast. We'll see y'all next week.